Okay, let's try some dividing. So we just multiplied and now we're going to divide fractions. So the first thing you want to do, just like last time, is you want to factor. And then next what you want to do is divide by the reciprocal. So you may remember what you would do is you would flip the second fraction, or flip the fraction after the division sign. So then you're going to multiply just like normal. Here's what I mean. Here's just like a quick example. Remember back when you guys did fractions, if you had 2/3 divided by 4/5, what this really means to do is flip the fraction that's after the division sign. So you would really be doing 2/3 times, the reciprocal of 4/5 would be 5/4. And then it's the exact same thing that we've been doing. Let's try some. These are set up as division. So first thing that we want to do is we want to flip the second fraction. So I'm going to rewrite this problem. So I've got 5x to the 4th over 8x squared y squared times, now I'm going to flip that second fraction, so I've got 8y to the 5th over 15. Now it's the exact same thing I had back at the beginning. So what I could do is you could go ahead and multiply the 5 times the 8 and in the denominator the 8 times 15, but if I look at this, do you guys see how there's an 8 on the top and bottom? Then I don't even have to mess with bigger numbers. Yes, you could have just gone like this and had 8 times 5 is 40, if you wanted to do this, and then you have x to the 4th, y to the 5th, 8 times 15 is 120, x squared, y squared. So you could have done that, and then you just have to reduce the 4 over the 20, but you know, you could go back and do this too. So 5 over 15 becomes 1 over 3. Look, 40 over 120 becomes 1 over 3. So it doesn't matter which way you do that. So my answer is 1/3. I've got 2 extra x's in the numerator, so x squared, and I've got 4 extra y's in the denominator. No, I don't. That's an y squared. Sorry. 5 minus 2 is 3. So my answer is x squared, y cubed, over 3. Notice I didn't write that 1 because I didn't need it. Alright, let's try one a little bit trickier. First thing we're going to do is factor. So I can't factor this 5x, so I'm just going to leave it alone. So I've got 5x. This denominator here I can take out a GCF. So I have a 3x minus 4. Divided by, I can take out a GCF in this numerator, so I've got x minus 2, and in my denominator here, negative 4 times negative 2 is going to give me 8, and it's going to add up to negative 6, so x minus 4, x minus 2. Remember, don't cancel anything out until we're multiplying, so we need to get rid of that divide. So what I need to do is I need to flip that second fraction. I'm going to rewrite it all. So there's my first fraction. Now I'm going to rewrite the second fraction, but I'm going to put the bottom up on top, and I'm going to put the top up at the bottom. So I've got it rewritten. Now since it's multiplied, really what we're doing is we're just making one big fraction. Pretend like it's all squished together. From here we're going to reduce. So let's see, do you see this x right there and that x? They do cancel out. This x minus 4 cancels with this x minus 4, and the x minus 2's will cancel out. So I don't have a whole lot left on top except for 5. In the denominator, I just have a 3. Alright, let's try some more. Alright, notice that these polynomials are getting a little more exciting. First thing I'm going to do in the numerator is I'm going to take out a GCF. So I've got an x squared, and I'm left with x squared minus 9. I'm just going to squeeze it in above there. So now my new numerator looks like this. I've got x squared. The x squared minus 9 is x plus 3, x minus 3. The denominator, right here, is going to become a negative 3, x minus 3, and an x minus 1. Divided by. Now, keep in mind, some of you guys are going to be able to skip some steps, and that's completely fine. All right, numerator up here. I notice that there's a GCF. I've got an x squared. So if I take out an x squared, I'm left with x squared plus 2x minus 8. So I still need to factor more. So I know that negative 8 is going to give me a positive 4, so I've got an x plus 4 and an x minus 2. Denominator, this right here is just x plus 4, x minus 4. Next thing you need to do now is rewrite it. Copy the first fraction, and then you want to flip, oops, I can't spell, F-L-I-P, flip the fraction that's after the division sign, so it looks like this. Alright, now I'm just multiplying, so I can make this into one big fraction. Remember, if I'm going too fast, you guys can always hit pause and write stuff down. Okay, now I just need to cancel. So if you look on top, I have an x squared with an x squared. Those are gone. I have an x minus 3 with an x minus 3. X plus 4s are gone, and then just double check, make sure you don't have anything else. Alright, that was a bell, but you guys aren't released. Okay, so now we've got x plus 3 on top left over, and x minus 4. In the denominator, you're left with an x minus 1 and an x minus 2. Make sure you don't overcancel, oversimplify anything. You're done. Let's try another one. Okay, this next one is one you're going to have to be a little more careful with. So 6 times negative 3 is negative 18. Come up with two numbers you can multiply to get negative 18 that add up to 7. So 9 and negative 2. So I'm going to rewrite that numerator as 6x squared plus 9x minus 2x minus 3. Then I'm going to take out a GCF from the first two terms, 3x, 2x plus 3. I'm going to factor out a negative 1, and I'm left with 2x plus 3. So my numerator looks like this. I've got 3x minus 1, 2x plus 3. Denominator, there's nothing I can do with that, so I'm just going to leave it as 6x squared. Now, this is divided by, remember I can make anything into a fraction by putting it over 1. I can take out a GCF in the top. That GCF is just an x, and it leaves me with 2x plus 3 over 1. Now you need to rewrite it where you flip this second fraction, the fraction after the division sign, and it's going to look like this. Now that we just have one fraction, I can go ahead and make it into one big fraction, just like that, and any similar factors on top and bottom, any common factors can cancel. So I definitely see that 2x plus 3, and that's about it. You're just going to write down the rest of it. Your numerator is 3x minus 1. You really don't have to write that 1 there. And in the denominator, you've got 6x squared times x, and you get 6x cubed. Please don't think you can cancel the 3 with the 6, because look, that 3 is stuck in there, that factor, so you can't just take out part of a factor. Alright, a couple more. Alright, so this one's a different fractions that I'm starting with. I'm going to put that one over 1. So my first fraction is x over x plus 5. My second fraction is a factor of 3x minus 5 over 1 divided by, I'm going to factor, the only thing that factors here is this top. That's a difference of squares, so it's 3x plus 5, 3x minus 5. My denominator is x plus 5. Now, the only one that's going to have to flip is whatever comes after the division sign. So we're only going to flip this second one. Why can't I spell that? My goodness. This is rolls. Alright, here's what it looks like. So the only thing I've done is I've flipped, not flipped it, I've flipped it. Alright, I'm also going to go ahead and put parentheses around that x plus 5 because it's all together, it is a factor. Since we're multiplying everything now, I can just make one big fraction. It's the easiest way to multiply. And then we're going to cancel out any common factors. I definitely see an x plus 5. I see a 3x minus 5. And then I'm going to write my leftovers. So I'm left with an x on top. In the denominator, again, I don't need to write that 1. And I just need to write the 3x plus 5. Now, I keep the parentheses around the 3x plus 5 so I can remember that I can't cancel out that x with the top x because this x is stuck inside the factor. Alright, last one. Now, I rearranged where my division sign was. So if you look, here's a division sign right here, which means that this middle one is going to be flipped. And then we're going to leave this last one alone. So leave it alone. Okay, so I'm going to start by factoring whatever I can factor. So I know I can take out a GCF in this one, and I'll be left with x squared minus 4. So then I'll have difference of squares. 2x plus 2, x minus 2. In the denominator, I've got 3x plus 2. I'm going to go ahead and put parentheses around it so I remember that it's a factor. Divided by, again, same thing with this x plus 4. Put parentheses around it. Now, this 6x minus 2, let's go ahead and factor this over here. So 6 times negative 2 is negative 12. What two numbers can you multiply to get negative 12 that add up to 1? That would be a positive 4 and a negative 3. So I've got 6x squared plus 4x minus 3x minus 2. So GCF in the first two is 2x, and then I'm left with a 3x plus 2. GCF in the next group is a negative 1, leaving me 3x plus 2. So when I factor, I get 2x minus 1, 3x plus 2. And again, that's what I'm going to rewrite here. 2x minus 1, 3x plus 2. Times, I've got 1 plus 2x. Now, do you see how that's backwards? I'm just going to rewrite it as 2x plus 1, just so it's in the right order. And then the denominator, I have a 3. Remember, the only one that's going to get flipped is what comes after that division sign. So flip that middle fraction only, so it looks like this. Notice the only thing that I flipped was that middle fraction. Now we just need to multiply. So remember, I'm lazy. I'm just going to make a big old fraction. There, bam, they're multiplied. And then cancel. So I've got an, let's see, there's no x plus 2 at the bottom. There's no x minus 2 at the bottom. There is no 2x minus 1. Oh, here we go. I got a 3x minus 2 and a 3x minus 2. And that's it, guys. Sometimes you're not going to get a lot to factor. So write your answer. So there's everything from my numerator. The denominator has a 3 and an x plus 4. Alright, so sometimes you're not going to get a whole lot to cancel. Don't let that freak you out. Alright, we're done. I want you guys to go ahead and try some of the problems, or try all the problems in your homework. And I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye.